the possession. Maryland coming in 3-1, has an opening season loss to Syracuse 15-9, but since then has beat Georgetown, St. Joe's, and Denver. For the Dukes of James Madison, they opened the season also with a loss, and a kind of a one-sided one actually to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Dukes only scored 2 goals in that matchup against the Heels, but have come back and won 4 in a row since that time and averaged about 14 goals in those contests.
Yeah, it's always daring for a coach to open with a team that is perennial powerhouse in UNC, and they weren't ready for it, but they've improved every game.
And the first goal goes to the visitors as Jordan Lipnick, a senior from Short Hills, New Jersey, tallies her 7th goal this season and the 40th of her career. She's coming off an effort against St. Joe's where she had 2 goals and an assist. Also had a couple of goals against the Syracuse in the opener. So we open up with Maryland taking their early lead. Goalkeepers for today. This is a little bit of a change on James Madison. So Maryland will reset its offense. Clevenger coming over here to the near sideline. Of course, you got some of the best coaches in the country going wit to wit here this afternoon. Here comes a free position opportunity for the Terrapins. Moyer. And the free position score is good. Chalk it up to Edmondson.
Yeah, that was a well-executed 8-meter shot by Edmondson there.
Out of that free position circumstance.
Fake high pull low, got that just, I think, on the hip. Not so much so in lacrosse.
Yeah, you have to go back quite a number of years in the women's basketball if that's the case. Free position start here for Livingston. His second opportunity at this. Passes it off this time, and a great decision. Flying on in, the Terps have the 3-0 lead. Now the Dukes have experienced this a couple of times this year. They were down early to Virginia Tech. Tech blitzed them out of the gates, but the Dukes came back and won that ball game. So you can understand, even though it's 3-0 Maryland, that there is a chance that the Dukes certainly can make some adjustments. Timeout in our first quarter of play. We're going to take a timeout along with them. 7:14 to go in the opening stanza. 3 for the Terps, 0 for the Dukes. Back in a moment. 7 on the year, but off to an early start here. How does JMU try to nullify that a little bit?
You know, this is where I don't envy, you know, the coaching staff. You know, there's not a certain goalkeeping situation right now. So Coach Linville, Coach Clace are asking themselves, is this a defensive adjustment or do we consider making a goalkeeping change? I think, you know, you don't want to concede 8-meter shots at the rate they've been doing. So I think first you try to tighten up the defense and then see how things go from there before you make a goalkeeping change.
And there's a quick turn coming off below the goal line for making it 4-0, and that's a pretty good drawn-up play coming out of the break to come up with that goal. And again, James Madison also has yet to get a draw control, and so Maryland, make it take it, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, I think every situation, yeah, there you want to say the goalkeeper really needs to be the one. You want one of the greatest players to ever play in your program is coming, but you just don't know what it feels like until they're not there. So Coach Clace doesn't necessarily want to talk about this year as a transition year,
right.
But it is.
It is.
It is.
Well, and she's looking also for more attacking from the midfield, which, you know, quite honestly, that's been a somewhat of a common thread for the last couple of years. But the Dukes wasn't behind the back pass, and that's disrupted, goes out of bounds.
Good pressure by freshman Reese Cuviello.
That should have been James Madison's ball. They gave it up. And there's a shot, and dropping the head of the stick, Corey Edmondson has her second goal of the game. And the Terrapins add to the lead, 5-0.
Got to find a way at home to create a shift in momentum here, the Dukes do.
So was that a behind the back over the shoulder pass, or was that a shot earlier? Because the ball went off the end line. It was awarded to Maryland, and Maryland comes right back. And foul called against the Terrapins. James Madison will maintain the possession. Plenty of time on the shot clock at 53 as the whistle starts play again.
You're never going to get anything easy from a Maryland team on attack or defense. You're going to have to work hard for it. And Last week, Matthews asserted herself against Florida, as did Maggie Clark.
And there is Maggie Clark with the goal. That's right. Clark, the redshirt senior, has her 4th goal of the season, the 38th of her career, and the Dukes are on the board with 13:19 to go in the opening half. Watch how this develops.
Yeah, Maggie Clark on the wing there. Great face dodge, reads where her teammate was, where the open seam was. When
playing with an advantage in personnel. Edmondson cut off this time by the Dukes as they hold that 8 just a little bit more. This is Sullivan with the score. And that makes it 6-1. The freshman gets her 8th goal of the year. She's been active in a number of areas, as she also is one of the top draw control of the Terps. 18 of those thus far this year, and here it comes.
Yeah, it's hard to cover all the spaces that you need to cover when you're a woman down. Shelby Sullivan takes advantage of.
That's Livingston.
It's like a held shooting space call. It's going to give the Terrapins another chance to step onto the 8-meter here.
One out of 2 on free position opportunities. The Dukes 0 for 2 on free positions.
Kate Seitz will be taking this.
Seitz, a graduate student, approaches and scores as she gets it around Moyer. Moyer, a senior from Silver Spring, Maryland, out of Good Counsel High School. Another sport and rec management major for JMU. That'll push the lead to 6 at 7-1.
Yeah, last week Moyer kept the Dukes in the game against the Gators and had just some really important saves early on.
Plenty of time to work with on this possession on an easy clear. They isolate on the far side.
See, that double is coming, and the player that is most available needs to cut up into the middle of that 8-meter and make something happen.
Derry, with her height at 6 even, she used leverage to fire that shot in. A lot of times the tall players, they wind up a little bit, and that's one thing she has done through her time is quicken her shot and kind of brought her body, her arms in just a little bit so she can get more whip action on it as opposed to laying it out there and making for an easy pick of a defender.
Yeah, that double comes. Epke swings the ball to Clark, and Derry comes from.
Top of the circle and losing the ball, picking it, scooping it right back up. That's Sullivan. She had 7 draw controls in the opener against Syracuse and picks that up just as if it were a draw control. Edmondson finds her way free, bounces it past Moyer into the net for goal number 8. She's got a hat trick.
Yeah, and that just, I mean, that is an All-American player right in front of us. That is recognizing that Edmondson had a one-on-one matchup, and just said, hey, I'm going to beat you to the space. And she does that against Brie Manillo without a slide coming there. Outstanding goal and finish by Edmondson.
So a timeout.
And while a lacrosse ball is not quite as hard as a field hockey ball, it still
hurts.
It still hurts. My sister had a few broken noses as a defender at Brown University many years ago.
And the free position goal for the Terrapins makes it 9-2.
Freshman Devin Livingston converting the 8-meter there, I believe.
So Livingston has her 3rd goal this season. 5'5" freshman from Victor, New York, finds her way into the scoring column with her 3rd goal of 2025.
Right on the center hash. That's difficult for a goalkeeper.
Down to 25 seconds. Get a whistle as the cut goes through and a late connection. Bleckley got hit. Bleckley at 5'5".
Also, another freshman bright spot.
Absolutely. Her A lot of finance majors on this James Madison Lacrosse. These gals want to make some money.
God bless them.
And speaking of making some money, that was money for Buckley. Chloe gets in the scoring as that's her 8th goal of the year.
And again, just self-aware as a freshman, you're playing against a great Maryland team. Buckley did a nice job on that dodge to draw that 8-meter shot, getting underneath and inside and drawing the foul.
She was a 3-sport athlete in high school, played a little soccer, little hoops as well. Was a USA Select Under-18 team member and 2-time USA Lacrosse All-American at the scholastic level. She'll come off to the sidelines.
Yep, and when you're coming from that wide hash, Buckley does a great job with a nice
back-to-back goals potentially for the Dukes, something they have not done here yet today.
We need to give the Dukes freshman a lot of credit on the draw. She has really created some positive opportunities for the Dukes and really helped them win the last several draws.
Yeah, it's level off just a little more here late in this first half. Epke works, they isolate again. She moves in, takes the shot and scores for James Madison.
That's her favorite spot. So Maddie Epke has been moved around a lot to try to create different opportunities to avoid all these double teams and pressures. But there is no doubt about it that left side of the 8 meters, her favorite place to attack from.
Epke has her 17th goal of the year, 91 in her career for the junior from Guilford, Connecticut, Guilford High School. And again, a Tewaaraton watch
Quick
list.
Little face dodge, excuse me, Kurt, just before that double team comes. She's got just
sitting over there on the other side. Is he here today?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be my husband over there on the perch with my oldest son sitting next to him.
Okay.
Soaking up the sun, unlike us.
And there's a shot taken to the left and missed by the Maryland Terrapins. Yeah, if I ever want to know if he's here, I just look across the way because he's got that special seat.
Yeah. Doesn't quite have a nameplate on it yet, but I'm sure that's going to come
That's an
sometime
idea.
before retirement.
That's definitely an idea. There's a shot again taken by the Terps. They get their first goal of the second half, and this time it's wheeled in. I think that was Sullivan, a freshman, that got the ball through the crease. We'll check on that, make sure we have it officially so.
We haven't seen Maryland's attack with too many upcuts low to high. Maybe Kathy Reese was talking about that at the timeout. Ball comes high on the 8 meter and the cut comes from low to high. Yep, strong side shot and finish there by Sullivan.
There for Maryland, recognizing their personnel, and they'll switch it back up.
Sometimes that ball looks more slippery than it is, but Maryland regaining possession here, giving themselves another chance.
Off the end line, stays in possession of the Terps, still maintaining. Just been can't get much lower scoring than nothing here in the second half. Oh, and that just does trickle in. Going down to the knee, getting the shot off. Didn't get enough on it, that much on it, but just enough as it just trickles past Moyer into the goal for goal number 11 for the Maryland Terrapins.
Yeah. Moyer looked like she read that properly, got her stick down, and it just did, as you say, I think trickled in there. Real close falling down there. Kate Sight.
Just getting a little closer. Seems that we're back. We had a little bit of audio technical difficulty there, folks, so kept you at least informed, or you could see what was going on as we're back into the action here. Again, we do want to thank the sports information directors, Jerry Rodriguez from the University of Maryland and Max Nagel, the host school SID for lacrosse here at James Madison. Appreciate the information those two gentlemen gave us here to get you ready for today's match, and the goal is scored by Lauren Savage. Savage with her 7th goal of the season, 21st of her career for the junior from Catonsville, Maryland.
Yeah, the opening is there. There's kind of an overload. The slide does not come defensively for the Terrapins.